Hello. I'm building a home web server on Proxmox. First, I need a domain name. And here is my domain name. I'm using it for the web server I'm about to build. This is my Proxmox server. To build a web server, I need a Linux virtual machine. Ubuntu is a good choice. Download the server version without a graphical interface. Next, I upload it to Proxmox. Local. ISO images. Select File. Browse to the location of the downloaded file. Upload. Task OK. Upload successful. Next, I create a new Ubuntu virtual machine and install the web server on it. Create VM. Name. Web server. Next, ISO image. Use the image file uploaded in the previous step. QEMU agent. Hard disk size 50 gigabytes. CPU 4 cores. Type host. Memory 4096. Next, network. Finish. This is the virtual machine that was just created. Next, I installed the Ubuntu operating system. Full screen. This is easier to see. Continue without updating. Ubuntu Server. Done. Pay attention to this step. Set a static IP address for this virtual machine, because I will forward the port on the router to the web server. Forwarding the port will fail if the IP address changes. Subnet. IP address. Gateway. Name server. I wrote down the web server's IP address and used it in the following steps. Save. Static IP address. Done. Done. Continue. Use an entire disk. Done. By default, the virtual machine only uses half of the hard disk space, so I changed it as follows. Edit. Size. Leave this box blank. Save. Use entire. Done. Continue. Your name. Your server's name. Pick a username. Password. Confirm password. I wrote down the username and password to access the web server over the network. Done. Continue. Install OpenSSH server. Use spaces to select installation. Done. Wait until you are prompted to restart the virtual machine. You are prompted to remove the operating system installer, then press Enter. Return to Proxmox. CD DVD. Remove. Press Enter to restart the virtual machine. SSH. Remote access to the Ubuntu server using SSH. Using SSH for remote access makes pasting commands easier. In this case, I'm using software called PuTTY. Username. Password. Password. Clear. Sudo. Su. Password. Password is the same as before. CD. Navigate to the root directory. Update. Upgrade. Yes. OK. Complete. For a web server, you need efficient management software with a graphical interface. And I chose aaPanel, free for personal needs. Install aaPanel Free Edition. aaPanel Free Edition install script. Install script. Copy. Paste. Yes. Complete installation. Internet access. Internal access. Username. Password. These are the login credentials for aaPanel. Write them down for future use. Log into the aaPanel system. Continue. Username. Password. Login. Login successful. Select software to install on the web server. Database. Skip PHP. Because there is no version I want to install. One click. Complete web server and database installation. Close. Next, install PHP. App Store. Page 2. PHP 8.2. Install. Complete PHP installation. Skip. Settings. Install extensions. IronCube. Confirm. Fill info. Install. opcache. For speeding up PHP scripts. Redis, speed up the database material. Confirm. opcache. Fill info. IronCube. Refresh. App Store. Misclick. Setting. Optimization. Because my virtual machine has 4 GB of RAM, I chose 2 to 4. Confirm. Redis. Settings. Set persistence. No. Save. Close. Page 2. PHP. Settings. 4 GB. Save. Session configuration. Save. Close. Page 4. Linux tools. Install. Settings. Time zone settings. Set time zone. Confirm. Close. Many settings. Restart to apply changes. After the restart is complete, I check the web server using the local IP address. Website not found. Everything is okay. Ready for the next steps. The web server only works on the local network, so I forward the port on the router to access from outside. Forward 2 ports. 80 and 443. Web server IP address. This is why I set a static IP address on the web server. Apply. Port forwarding completed 80. Next, I forwarded port 443. HTTPS 443. IP address. Apply. Completed forwarding ports 80 and 443 on the router. Public address. Access the web server from outside. Access the web server using the public address. Continue to site. Access successful. Next, I set up Cloudflare DNS. Cloudflare helps speed up web browsing and save bandwidth. Cloudflare. You create a Cloudflare account. Connect a domain. Enter an existing domain. Enter your domain name. Copy the domain name and paste it. Continue. Free. Continue. Replace your current NAMA servers with Cloudflare NAMA servers. Set up DNS for the domain. Settings. Update DNS. Delete old DNS. Delete. Delete. Copy Cloudflare DNS. Paste. Copy Cloudflare DNS again. Paste. Update. Complete. Close. Continue. Wait until your domain is active. My domain was active after about 15 minutes of waiting. Setting. Configure DNS. Next, I link the domain to the web server using Cloudflare. Add record. Name. @ IPv4. Copy the public address and paste it into this box. Disable proxy. Save. This is the record I just created. Next, I added the domain on the web server. Domain name. Enter your domain name in this box. Copy domain name. Paste. Database. Database settings. You can change the database name and password if you want. I changed the database name a little. Disable HTML. I wrote down the database name and password to configure WordPress in the next step. Close. SSL. SSL is a security protocol that creates an encrypted connection between the browser and the web server, ensuring that transmitted data is private, secure, and not modified or stolen. Let's encrypt. Enable HTTPS. Save. URL rewrite. WordPress. Save. Close. I checked my SSL. There is now a lock icon and HTTPS in front of my domain name. Open source WordPress is an easy way to have a website for almost anyone. Download WordPress. Extract the downloaded file. Extract the folder after extracted. Select all and compress into one file. Why extract and then recompress? Because it's simpler on Windows than Ubuntu. wp.zip. Upload this file to the web server. aaPanel. Files. www.root. Your website. File operations. Upload file. Browse to the newly created compressed file. wp.zip. Confirm upload. Upload successful. Unzip. Confirm. Extraction complete. Next, configure WordPress. In your browser, enter your domain name. Select language. Let's go. Configure database. Database name. Enter the database name and password you set in the previous step. Username. Paste. Password. Paste. Submit. Run the installation. Site title. Set up WordPress admin account. Password. Your email. Write down your WordPress admin account. Login. Username. Password. Login. Disable some rarely used features. Dismiss. Screen options. Uncheck all boxes. Updates. Reinstall WordPress. Make sure you are using the latest version. This is the domain name I use for this website. Time zone. Date format. Time format. Permalinks. Post name. Some basic settings should not be overlooked. Visit WordPress site. I have a complete website, now I just need to add content to it. Normally we use dynamic public IP addresses, so every time it changes, the website loses connection. To solve that problem, you update the dynamic public IP address using Cloudflare. Install Not Edges. Clear. Copy. Paste. Node version. Paste. NPM version. Paste. Complete Not Edges installation. Cloudflare Public IP Address Update Tool. Cloudflare Dynamic DNS. Code. Download zip. Upload it to the web server. aaPanel. Files. Root. File operations. Upload file. Browse to the downloaded file. Open. Close. Unzip. Files after extracting. Change the name of the template configuration file. Cloudflare token. Cloudflare. Profile. API tokens. Create token. Edit zone DNS. Use template. Zone resource. All zones. Continue to summary. Create token. This is the newly created token. Copy. Write down. Copy. API token. Use Cloudflare token to update the configuration file. Save. Next, I update the zone ID. Cloudflare. Right side. This is the zone ID. Copy. Paste. Domain name. Copy domain name. Paste. Complete update token and zone ID. Save. I only used one domain name, so I deleted the lines below. Save. Close. Save and start the public IP address update tool. Copy. Paste. Start. Path to the IP update tool. Save. Start. Log. Log tells you if the IP address was successfully updated. Domain name has been assigned to a public IP address. To ensure it works properly, I power off the router. It takes about 5 minutes to ensure the public IP address changes. And here is the new public IP address. The new public IP address does not affect the connection to my website. So the IP address update tool is working well. You can check by viewing the logs. The domain has been assigned a new public IP address. The website needs a beautiful interface. Add theme. Many options for you. Many options for different purposes. For example, you want to create a blog. Activate. Visit site. These are the steps to build your own home web server on Proxmox. Thank you for watching. Good luck.